Hi everyone, in this video I'll be sharing with you some of the skills and techniques that you need in order to answer or in order to write a descriptive essay based on the marking scheme or the marking requirement for 0500 First Language English paper 2. Okay, so let's start with the notes. Okay, now so a very quick ideas or very quick discussion on section B, composition, which carries about 40 marks. So obviously the candidates need to choose either to write a descriptive or a narrative essay. But in today's lesson, I'll be focusing more on descriptive essay. That means how to write a very good descriptive essay. So here, obviously, these candidates are required to write about 350 to 450 words, and there are no reading assessment objectives involved because everything is based on writing assessment. So it's 40 marks. So these are some of the assessment objectives that I would like to highlight here. So the candidates basically must be able to articulate, experience, and express what is thought, felt, and imagined. And then we will also look at how well they could organize the structure and also express their opinion. Okay, and then how about the vocabulary? That means we have to look at the wide range of vocabulary and also the sentence structures used by the candidates according to the appropriate context. And we will definitely look at the register. That means when they write a descriptive essay, it shouldn't sound like a narrative. Or when they write a narrative essay, it shouldn't really 100% sound like a descriptive essay. And finally, the GPSS, grammar, punctuation, spelling must be always accurate. Okay, now let me quickly go to the skills needed. So basically, when a candidate is attempting to write a descriptive essay, the most important technique is definitely the dominant impression. So that means we will be looking at the sensory language. That means we will be looking at some of the action words. That means not common action word, energetic action words. We will look at vivid adjectives, and then we will look at specific or concrete details. That means how can you express, how could you describe your idea specifically instead of like being very vague, and the importance of figurative language and also the position of the narrator. In fact, that means whether you want to use a spatial order or whether you want to follow a chronological order or in fact order of importance. Okay, so a very quick one. These are the elements of a descriptive writing. It's very important for the students to come up with words related to the sensory details, sense of sight, sense of hearing, sense of taste, sense of smell, and obviously sense of feel. That means touch. Okay, and these are some of the examples of touch words, taste words, sight words, which the students can use according to the requirement of the topic. Okay, and these are examples of sound words. Okay, snapping, whistling, thundering, and then we have like whimpering. Okay, and then these are some of the adjective list as well, useful one, which the students can use them in their descriptive essay. And these are examples of words which can be used to describe a person's qualities. I mean, for an example, if you would like to describe, the character or whoever that you would like to describe in your essay, maybe you want to focus on their personality or whether you want to focus on their behavior, then these ideas or these words can be very helpful. And when students use rules of three, that means when you are describing a subject, and if you want to add more than one adjective in front of that particular subject. Therefore, it's very important for the students to follow the correct order of adjective. That means the sequence order of adjective. That means the students might get confused whether is it going to be a long silky black hair or black long silky hair or silky black long hair. So the students can get confused. Therefore, this sequence of adjective would be very, very helpful, whereby you have to start with a determiner and a general remark. For an example, lovely, expensive, beautiful, interesting, remarkable, okay, and expensive. Okay, all these are definitely general remark kind of adjective. And then always start with the size, continue with the shape, age, color. You focus on the source, and then material, qualifier, and noun. So there are so many examples here. So some as the determiner here, delicious is a general remark. And then here, traditional is more to the age, and then what sauce is Malaysian food. So this is an example, and if you Google, there are so many other examples that you can use in order for you to understand how you could basically sequence your adjectives properly when you are applying rules of three. That means when you have more than one adjective in describing a particular subject in your writing. Okay, moving on, even when it comes to verb, don't just say you walk. How can you basically describe the action of walking? That means use vivid verbs. It could be like shuffling or even hiking. When we say laugh, how the person basically laugh, like make it more specific, whether the person like basically roared or giggled or chuckled. So instead of you say mad, like you can say agitated, furious, resentful, like told. Like what do you mean by told? Communicated, advised, declared. So it's very important for you to focus on vivid verbs instead of being very vague. And even figurative language can be used widely in your descriptive writing. So it's very important for you to have examples of figurative language that I would like to highlight here. Would be alliteration, that means repetition of consonant sound, onomatopoeia, that means words which are related to sound. And then we can use simile, that means if you would like to compare the subject with something else, with the use of as or like. Therefore, you can happily use simile. That means you can create your own simile, you can create your own alliteration. And we have metaphor, again a comparison, but this time you're not using the word as or like. That means you just mentioned that, oh, she's such a headache. That means you are telling the person is very troublesome, but you're not really using the word like or as. And then personification is a very interesting figurative language that you can use, because you can give action to non-living thing. That means the tree dances according to the rhythm of the air, for an example. So when you use that tree dances, eventually you are trying to give human characters or human actions to something which is not really living, or which something which can't really move or perform the action. Therefore, personification will definitely add a flavor to your descriptive writing. So you can definitely use idiom, hyperbole, juxtaposition. You can use oxymoron and other figurative language. And I have shared examples of idioms here. There's so many idioms here. And then I have examples of similes, and then examples of metaphor, hyperbole, personification, and example of assonance, alliteration, and these are examples of oxymoron. And it's also very important for the students to avoid being vague. That means instead of you mention afraid, say how afraid is terrified. Instead of you just say beautiful, perhaps you can make it even more specific. Like when you say bright, how bright is bright? It's dazzling. So when you say, that means when you say something which is good, like how good is good? So good could be superb, example. And there are also other ways for you to say something. For an example, instead of you mentioning happy, you can say cheerful, delightful. Instead of you saying that it's pretty, like gorgeous, stunning, dazzling, sensational. So avoid being vague and be more specific. So when you be more specific, it gives you the opportunity to use more descriptive words. Okay, and again another list of descriptive words in order for you to make it a little bit more specific, like how small is small, like little, like tiny, like you know, you can say that, let's say large is basically colossal, enormous, massive, substantial. Okay, and avoid using the word very, because when you say very tasty, what do you mean by very tasty? It could be delectable, it could be scrumptious. When you say very tempting, so it's enticing, it's alluring. So avoid using very and be more descriptive with your choices. Okay, and the list continues. And that's all. So I've discussed with you some of the techniques and skills that you need in order to write a very good descriptive essay. So I have shared with you so many elements, so feel free to use them widely so that you can write you know, a beautiful and also vibrant at the same time descriptive writing. Okay, have a nice day.